Happy movie night to you all. Welcome to Midnight Movie Cigar Club. I'm going to talk about a movie during the duration of a cigar. Been a long time, but I'm glad to be back. This week we watched Hellboy, and I was pretty excited about it. The film is directed by Guillermo del Toro, who I'm a big fan of. First of all, the thing that I love most about Hellboy and Hellboy 2 is Guillermo's visual style. It's just very, very interesting to look at. Very beautiful. Pan's Labyrinth, same deal. The movie is starring America's caveman Ron Perlman, as well as Selma Blair, John Hurt, and channeling Matthew Broderick, Rupert Evans. It came out almost 10 years ago. If you haven't seen it, it's a comic book movie. It came out in the heyday of, Spider-Man was coming out. The first Batman film of Nolan's trilogy had come out just recently. Now, the movie starts off with the question, what is it that makes a man a man? That's the question we're looking for. So Hellboy is based on a comic book of the same name by Dark Horse Comics, in which a demon baby child, Hellboy, the titular character, is summoned by some Nazi occultists during World War II. He is summoned in an attempt to unleash essentially the apocalypse by the Nazis, the plan of which is thwarted by the Allies, including John Hurt's character, Trevor Brutenholm. Cut to, 60 years in the future, Hellboy is a member of the Bureau for Paranormal Research and Defense, which was set up by this professor guy, Trevor Brutenholm. Brutenholm. With him are Fishman, Abe Sapien is his name, voiced by David Hyde Pierce, as well as a girl named Liz, who I believe her character's name is Firestarter in the comics, but she obviously is able to summon fire. And playing the role of the straight man to all these crazy characters is Agent John Myers. Forgot to mention that Rasputin, yes, that Rasputin, I guess he was like the main force behind this Nazi thing back in the day. He gets summoned back to be the ringleader of bringing about the apocalypse again. That's the point of this movie. Rasputin has returned, trying to, unleash the apocalypse. Well, maybe spoiler alert, but it's, 10 years ago. So if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it now, come back, finish watching this. It's revealed that Hellboy is the key to the apocalypse. His big stony right hand is the key that, unleashes the portal that, opens up the gates back to the hellish Netherrealm to unleash, Chrysalis Cthulhu to come down and destroy everything. Big showdown in Moscow. Hellboy has to make this choice. Am I going to be this monster that my purpose is to open this gate to unleash hell, or am I going to make a choice and do the right thing, save the girl, save all of my friends, not become the hell key? I just lit another one because my garage, my rules. Anyway, big point at the end of the movie. Hellboy is faced with a choice, and he makes the choice to not be the key to destroy everything. He decides to, break his horns and become the hero and save the girl and all that stuff and fight like Rasputin in Cthulhu form of Cthulhu, and saves the day. And Agent Myers, he sums it up with the thing that makes a person a man is not his origins, where he came from. It's the choices he makes that make him a man. Yeah, that'll work. Good point for a movie. It's just an action flick, and you walk away with a little nugget like that. Is it necessarily the ability to make the right choice, or is it just the fact that you have the ability to make choices? Is that what makes you a man? Whether they are good or bad. Maybe there's another level to that. In summation, is this a movie you should see? Yes. As far as comic book adaptation movies go, you could do a hell of a lot worse than Hellboy. If you like anything by Guillermo del Toro, I think this was the first film of his that I ever saw. And it was a great introduction to his style, his visual flair. Not all of the effects hold up very well. Most of them do. There's a few things where you can tell that it's about 10 years old. There's some really strange wire scenes like wire flying, and it just looks really terrible. Particularly a scene in the subway where you actually can tell that the scene was shot in reverse because you see glass flying backwards against the incoming explosion. So not everything is great. The relationship between the character of John Myers, the agent, and Liz, the fire starter, is supposed to form kind of a love triangle between Hellboy and her. And it's not super believable, and I don't even know if it's really supposed to be a love triangle because he doesn't really have a thing for her, but Hellboy thinks that he does have a thing for her, and it was just a vice or a device for the filmmakers to create some kind of romantic tension, which I don't know if it was entirely necessary. Ron Perlman is enjoyable as Hellboy. The acting's not great, but come on, it's a comic book action movie. It feels like a comic book action movie. It doesn't rely super heavily on CGI for a lot of the shots. It's either puppetry or really convincing CGI. Other times not so convincing CGI. It was really good for a comic book movie. Enjoyable. I've seen it multiple times now, and I've enjoyed it every time. I recommend seeing this one, and then I recommend watching the second one, even though it's not on Netflix right now. But it's the same. It's like this visual style, and then amped up, even more Guillermo-ized. For this movie, I'm gonna go with a 6.5 out of 10. It's not amazing, but it's a lot of fun. Just give it a watch. You won't regret it. It's a good time. Thanks again for watching, and if you like anything that I was rambling on about here, if you like this format, if this is like, what the hell are you doing in the garage with the cigar? Let me know. Let me know if this isn't working. We'll try something else. Maybe I'll go back upstairs. Thanks again. Like, subscribe, say how do you do, say you're dumb, say you're not dumb. Good night. See you next time. Also, again, really sorry for maybe not the greatest visual quality on this one. I'm using the front cam on my iPhone. It's not the best, but I couldn't see myself with the back camera, and I was like doing this, and that's not as good. Maybe you think it is.